This is Justin Kahn from the Decatur Herald and Review here at Bement High School, where today in the Class 2A quarterfinals, it was Auburn defeating Cerro Gordo Bement 21-12. Really early on in this game, Auburn looked like they were going to maybe try to run away with this one. They had the wind in the first quarter, scored 14 points pretty quickly, but Cerro Gordo just really had some bad mistakes early, some uncharacteristic fumbles that killed a couple drives. But they were able to, in the second quarter, they were able to kind of stem the tide a little bit. Auburn didn't want to pass the ball against the wind, and they tried to run the ball. Cerro Gordo did a really good job against the running game in the second quarter. Had an interception by Chase McNamara, which he returned about 70 yards, close to 70 yards, gave Cerro Gordo a really good field position. They weren't able to capitalize on that, though, and that was definitely a big defensive stand by Auburn. Really, and the Trojans in this game did a great job defensively. I think that was one thing that I think that's, if you had to point out one thing, that was the key to the game. You know, all the last two seasons, really, Cerro Gordo will break long runs on you, or at least, you know, if you can stop them from breaking, you know, Isbell and Woods from breaking the long runs, they're able to at least, you know, sustain drives with the running game, and they didn't do that today. After Auburn got to stop, you know, deep in their own territory after the McNamara interception, Cerro Gordo did get the ball back on a punt and drive down and score to make it 14-6 at the half. Cerro Gordo missed the extra point kick on that one, and that proved to be pretty big in this game because they missed both their extra points and their touchdowns. So, you know, even without the touchdown that Auburn put the game away with, you know, they're down 2 points. So, you know, extra points were tough at times, you know, this year for them, and that, you know, it hurt them today. It was 14-6, scoreless third quarter, which I know kind of disappointed Coach Curley because, you know, they had the wind at that point and really would have liked to try to tie the game, you know, at that point, or go on some kind of offensive run at that point. It didn't happen. They get to the fourth quarter. Auburn's forced to punt deep in their own territory, and their punter had a good snap. He just dropped the ball, and Cerro Gordo was able to recover it and score a touchdown. They missed they fail on the extra point run on that one, so it was 14-12. But, you know, at that point, you really feel like the momentum's on their side, and Auburn responded with a really impressive drive. I think that's where you saw a team that has guys who've been playing 2 and 3 years and have been, you know, to the playoffs and been watching teams play in the playoffs since they were little kids. It really played to their advantage at that point. They were able to go on a nice long, I believe about a 70-yard drive, really mixed the run and the pass well, basically chunked 10 yards, you know, between the pass and the run, and it was a great drive, and you know, the kind of drive that, you know, I think when the season ends, you know, their season finally does end, you know, that you can really point to as, wow, that, you know, that was huge. You know, at that point, Cerro Gordo, they score, go up 21-12, and at that point, Cerro Gordo's going to have to score twice, and they're having to, you know, try, you know, to do some things they're not used to doing as far as passing the ball into the wind. And, you know, Cole Blickensdorfer got banged up a little bit late in this game. Steve Isbell took some snaps at quarterback, took a couple direct snaps and took off running, but just couldn't make it happen offensively today. Really a pretty good job defensively other than that final drive for Cerro Gordo. Held after their quarterback, Auburn's quarterback Clark, had 142 yards passing in the first half, ended up with just about 70 yards in the second half, but a lot of those came on that big drive. Isbell finishes what was just a brilliant career at Cerro Gordo with 111 yards rushing in this game, but, you know, I know he was obviously, you know, really disappointed, wanted to see it go another week or two. Tough loss, you know, only 2 losses in the last 2 years for this Cerro Gordo Bement co-op. Unbelievable crowd here today for the first playoff game in Bement in a really long time. So definitely a memorable day. Didn't end up like they wanted it to, but another great season for the Broncos. Again, the final here today. Auburn defeats Cerro Gordo Bement 21-12 in the Class 2A quarterfinals. Make sure you check back to hrpreps.com for all the coverage.